Mm. Om. Om. Today we are going to discuss chapter 18, part 1. This is a long chapter with 78 verses, so we are going to cover from 1 to 40 today. This chapter is the summary, that is a synopsis, recapitulation of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 1 and 2 was introduction. Chapter 2.11, chapter 2 verse 11 starts Bhagavad Gita. Until chapter 17, it goes on. Chapter 18 is a conclusion. Chapter 18 starts with a question from Arjuna. Here, chapter 18, Sri Krishna summarizes the perennial principles or the eternal truths that were presented in previous 17 chapters and establishes collective conclusion of all of them. He reiterates that the mode of goodness is the only mode worthy of cultivation. He then concludes that bhakti, that is the exclusive loving devotion to the Supreme Lord, is the paramount duty, and its attachment is the ultimate goal of human existence. The question that Arjuna asks is, what is the difference between Sanyasa and Tyagam, that is renunciation and sacrifice? All scriptures are Guru Sishya Sambhada, meaning discussions, dialogue to one-on-one dialogue between the teacher and the student. And this is happening in the bar front. Krishna is not sitting on a stage and giving a lecture. So in the midst of life situation, take this guidance. That is the implication, implied meaning. So Arjuna is addressing Krishna with three specific titles. One is Mahabahu. Mahabahu means physically and mentally strong. Hrishikesa. Hrishikesa is one who has conquered all his senses. Keshinishudana means one who killed a demon by name Kesi. So, verse 2, he says, Sannyasam. Renunciation is giving up physically and mentally. Sacrifice is giving up. But what are you going to give up? That is a question. In the scripture, there are specific actions, duties mentioned for everyone. One is nitya karma, meaning your duties based on different ashrama, different life stages. As a student, brahmacharya, what are your duties? As a grahastha, family person, what are your duties? As a vanaprastha who has retired, he has no responsibilities, coming out of all the responsibility. What are the duties? What are his duties? His or her. And sannyasa is the fourth one, who was renunciation. What is he renunciating? That is, those are all nitya karma, daily recommended duties for each one. There's no option. Naimitya karma are the special ones on certain occasions, like birthday celebrations or weddings. So, or when somebody passes away. These are situational duties. And third one is kamya karma, desired prompted action. There are several mentioned in scriptures. Ishti means fulfilling desire. There is a karira ishti, that is a prayer for rain. When it is famine and all that everywhere, and they pray, they do that puja or yaga, which is called karira ishti. Now, putra kameshti is another one, which is to get a child. So, yaga is done in public Vedic rituals for the common good. Yajna is performed by individuals like prayer, fasting, performing one's duties. That is yajna. These two are not These two are have to be performed at different stages as required. Then the fourth one is Nishiddha karma. It should not be done. That is, these are prohibited. Suram na pibet. Do not drink alcohol. Why? When it is in excess, it dilutes the mind, the intellect, the decision-making faculty becomes weak. That is the meaning of it. Himsa na kuriya, do not hurt, abuse any others. That's it. So for this, Arjuna's question, nitya, naimittika, kamya, karma, that is duties, situational duties, and desire prompted actions are taken. Some rishis say, he's mentioning the other rishis initially. Some rishis say, renouncing desire prompted actions, and you are a sannyasi, you are a renunciate, but perform your daily and situational duties. Other sages say that all actions have the consequences, therefore all actions needs to be renounced. Some say that as long as there is an effect, as long as there is a cause, there is an effect. Just because a rose plant has thorns, we can't say it is a thorn plant and not plant it at all. A lamp is good to read, but the fireflies die in it. These are parts of nature, prakriti, plurality. Therefore, some say yajna, dana, tapas, prayer, charity, and spiritual practices must be done. Desire-prompted actions needs to be given up. When we perform these three as an offering, there are no negative consequences, only benefits, adrishta, that is invisible benefits. Verse 4, Krishna says that Krishna does not accept that renouncing all actions, but he says need to perform one's duties. Desire prompted actions needs to be given up. That is actually cravings. But all duties, both nitya and naimittika, duties and situational duties must be performed. Duty generally refers to a family holder. The student has no responsibility except to study and get qualified for sustenance. A retired person has no specific responsibility. He or she has done it and is trying to hand it over to the next generation. A renunciate is focusing on spiritual prayers, spiritual progress. He has different responsibilities that are not related to the family responsibilities. So duties are specifically focused on family holder. They should not renounce yajna, dana, tapas, that is prayer, charity, and spiritual practices like reading, listening, and fasting. Gita is addressed to general public, common man. Therefore, humans, unless they are totally dispassionate about the universal glamour and seeking the highest alone, others should not renounce actions. They would be counterproductive if they renounce it in the middle of their life without performing their duty. That will be counterproductive, resulting in haphazard life, neither here nor there. Limbo. That is referred as mithyachara. So now Krishna is emphasizing that prayer, charity, and spiritual practices. So of that, he's talking about the first one is prayer or worship. Number one, here mentioned it in chapter 3, verse 13, that it is referred to as Panchamaha Yajna for individuals. There are 5 yajnas, 5 spiritual practices that must be performed on a daily basis. One is Deva Yajna, praying to any deity that your family is drawn to, that is Ishta Devata. Then Rishi Yajna, that is reading, analyzing, understanding scriptures. Pitru Yajna, our body is from ancestors, so remember them, thank them, be respectful of them. Then Nara Yajna, that means taking care of human beings around you. Someone is hungry, thirsty, support them, pay for their education, whatever you need, whatever they need, support them. That is Nara Yajna. Then finally, the Bhuta Yajna is all other beings. Bhuta means elements. All beings are made up of 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. Support them, feed them, do not hurt them. In India, we perform rangoli, and that has to be performed only with rice flour so that ants can come and eat it. That is the symbolism. So you are offering something that is bhuta yagya. Or we offer food to the crow, birds, or offer food to dog. All these are prayer, worship, yagya. This is the most important duty for a family person. Till one gains the pure mind. Next one is dhanam. Dhanam is charity. This is before the final stage of renunciation. One who is in a family environment, his duty is to earn. Everyone in the family environment must earn. Whatever is earned should be shared with others. Food, clothing, shelter, knowledge, everything within the family. So as we share, we learn to give up, let go. Ultimately, one day we have to let go of everything. It is a practice, preview, to little by little, like a rehearsal before a drama. Right? So in Zen and Sufi spiritual traditions also, they talk about this. Before shedding the body, you need to learn to renounce. Die before you die. That is the only way we learn to renounce. That is the freedom to be liberated, from the clinging of to what we have always. This is so we own. Really, honestly speaking, we don't own anything at all. We have abundance to enjoy, but we don't own anything. This is exactly what Jesus Christ said. Also, they know not what they do. Please forgive them. That is, they. I cannot be nailed. I cannot be killed. They are only killing this body, right? And I'm not this body. I am ever present. I have no birth. I have no death. So renunciation is important to understand how charity, giving up, helps us to renounce in the path of renunciation. Then spiritual practices. Spiritual practices like fasting, not craving for sense pleasures. Scriptures do not emphasize that this must be done. It's not a requirement. But as a family holder, you can enjoy all pleasures, eat, be happy with food and everything. Ambitions, set ambitions, have ambitions, set goals, achievements, accomplishments, but keep trying occasionally, like missing one meal or one meal without a salt or one meal without a sugar. Just do not fall into the habit of craving, addiction. So when you move out of move on to the next stage of retirement, you are not sad because your body may not cherish what it cherished a few years ago. Right? At that time, you don't feel sad. Your mind is ready to accept the reality at that time. Reality means what we experience. So at that time of retirement, it is a lot more fun actually to be. It is a blessing. Not everybody gets this. No responsibility, no deadline, no disturbance, no boss. One can do whatever one wants. Not everyone gets this chance. So some keep whining about life, feeling lonely and without mental strength. Therefore, these three are vital to be ready for the future. Prayer, there's prayer, charity, spiritual discipline is important. In reference to Arjuna's question on renunciation, giving up, that is sacrifice, and renunciation, both are same. But those who do not have dispassion, this will not be applicable, says Krishna. Now he is going to categorize these two, that is charity, prayer, and spiritual practices into sattva, rajas, tamas, three gunas, both renunciation and sacrifice. So first he starts with tamasic sannyasa, tamasic renunciation. But that's verse 7. Not performing one's duty because of external glamour, delusional attraction is tamasic renunciation. Rajasic and tamasic renunciation has no positive benefit. Delusion here is one is not aware of what needs to be done and what should not be done. Without knowing this, renunciation should not be done. The pros and cons. Chapter 2, Arjuna was in this state. He was attached to his teachers and grandfather and was very sad and was deluded. And as to at that time, whether should I fight or should I not fight? This was Tamasic. Without knowing what is right and what is wrong, what is righteous and what is unrighteous, one should not renounce actions. What's right? There are people who become renunciate for a variety of reasons. Plenty of loan. I have loan, I can just renounce everything and go away. Or no job, unable to provide for the family, not a good relationship with my partner. These are escapism from duties. They may appear and try to live like a renunciate, but these are Rajasic renunciation. Because as long as the body is there, we have to keep on performing. Physical bodies and duty, they go together, they go hand in hand. Renouncing action would only increase ignorance. This will be more like a school dropout. The student will not have an exposure to the world life beyond that level. Similarly, when a student drops out, similarly, only the one who has acquired self-knowledge and developed dispassion, not indifference towards the world alone, can choose to renounce actions. Renunciation is not for those who don't want to work. Arjuna, a warrior, came to the war front and wanted to escape from the battlefield. It is his duty as a warrior to fight and standing up for what is right. But he was tempted not to fight. That was Rajasic giving up. There is a book that I read, A Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. The lawyer who was very rich, his one-day suit to the court was $3,000. He sold his race horse. He sold his race horse and Rolex watch and ventured into timeless traditions of the East. One can renounce only with full convinced knowledge. That is Sattvic Sanyasa. Enough. I'm not going to run after any temporary possessions. It is like walking a dog, life is like walking a dog. I'll start walking and then the dog will start walking me. That's how life is used. You get into this glamorous lifestyle and then it will take you on and on its own. So this person is realizing that and he is saying, I'm going to stop here. And in fact, from my personal experience, in 2012, I got an offer in a big company in Massachusetts with more than six-figure salary. But I said, no, I'm not going to choose it. I would rather spend my time with my family. So I chose not to take it. That is a Sattvic renunciation. I can do it, but I don't need it. I don't need it. So I don't want this, and that renunciation that is Sattvic. A person starts a business and in 2 years no gains, he quits and becomes renunciation is Rajasic. Few are lazy to work and make a living. They would rather choose to go and live in an ashram. So somebody is feeding, and that is Tamasic renunciation, Tamasic sannyasa. This is due to ignorance. The Rajasic Tamasic renunciation will not gain mental peace or dispassion. Verse 9, Sattvic sacrifice. Now we are moving on to sacrifice. Renouncing all actions is sacrifice. Renouncing desire-prompted actions and performing prayer, charity, spiritual is also sacrifice. Krishna takes the second one and says performing all these actions without an attachment to the results, meaning desired results, instead of accepting whatever comes as a gift from Brahman is Sattvic sacrifice. That is karma yoga practically. So that is karma. Simply do your duty without expecting anything. Do your duty as an offering to Lord, offering to the divine, and accept whatever you get. That is Sattvic renunciation. In both Tamasic and Rajasic sacrifice, actions are completely renounced, eliminated. But in Sattvic actions keep happening, but the ownership of those actions is renounced. He doesn't see himself as a doer, but as a tool. That is the significance of Krishna's flute with 9 holes. This body is a flute, is a hollow tube with 9 holes. His music flows through this. That's the significance. A patient is in the hospital, for example, doesn't have a desire to be there forever. But getting that treatment is, he realizes that it is his duty. As long as I need to be here and I need to get this treatment, that is my duty. He alone can renounce a disease. Right? So prayer, by service and meditation are duties of a seeker. Such a seeker is not drawn to the desired prompted actions. Now verse 10, what are the benefits of karma yoga? All duties, actions must be performed without expecting, without likes and dislikes. Say there is a teenager. Now I have a teenager at home. I tell the kid 14, 15 years, could you take my sister has come with her children, could you take her to the movie? He is happy because he also likes to watch movies. So he takes the children and family to the movie. After a week, I say, I have got a conference call at work. Could you please take my father to the clinic? He has an appointment. He said, no, I got a homework, or I have to prepare for my test. Some excuse, so because he doesn't like to do that. So when we do perform our duties, there should not be any likes and dislikes. Whatever needs to be done must be done. So verse 11 in Gita, in several places it is emphasized to do your duty. But in Upanishads, Vedanta says renounce your actions. Could you please explain? Krishna responds to that question. As long as you are attached to this body, you must perform all actions. You should not renounce them. Unless you are detached from this body, upon gaining and realizing that I am not this, all actions must be performed. Breathing, eating, sleeping are all actions. One should not renounce without self-realization. Act on all without attachment to the result. Whatever needs to be done must be done. Remove the thought that I am the doer. Everything is getting done through this body. Such a seeker is giving up, letting go of sacrifices. Those who perform Rajasic and Tamasic actions, decide prompted actions, get 3 possible consequences. 1, they can be an animal in the next birth or go to hell. That is anishtam, not favorable. Next one is could be a human body. That is called misram. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't like it. The third one is Devaganam. Anishtam, Mishram, Ishtam. Devaganam, you go to Swargaloka and you get a divine body, angel. Those who act without attachment to the result is not affected by any of this, pain or pleasure. They have no birth, no death. They attain liberation, that is moksha, inner peace, while they live in this body here and now. Verse 13 and 14. For all actions, we have 5 causes. One is this body. This is a food sheath. Without this body, nothing can be done. Therefore, this body is the basis of all actions. This is a foundation, fundamental. Next one is prana, air sheath. Breath is the second tool. Mind. Without mind, even if one has a body and breath, nothing can be done. So mind is the third one. Fourth is the intellect, the guiding force that guides the mind. Otherwise, it's only a daydreamer. That mind is that is the intellect, that is a karta. Last but not least, the final one is Ishvara, the reflection which initiates, which gives knowledge, reflect of the original illumining consciousness, Atman. That is the fifth one, that is Ishvara. These 5 are the cause for all actions, whether they are right or wrong, righteous or unrighteous. The reflection, the Ishvara does not tells you what should be done, what should not be done. Breathing power, mental power, understanding power, physical power, all are bestowed on us. With these powers, the human chooses to act and gain consequences. That Atman is illumining consciousness. God does not perform anything. We can say that Brahman is Akarta Abhokta, beyond that Ishvara. It is given in chapter 15. Anatma is Karta. Atma is Akarta Abhokta. Must realize that I am Atma. Whatever action is performed, this body is functioning. I, Atman, is not performing. Only with that knowledge, moksha, liberation is possible. The body will face the consequences. Therefore, unless and until we are aware and follow sattvic food, prayers, charity, actions, it would be very difficult to eliminate Rajasic, Tamasic life choices. For example, we need to know the route. Wherever we go from point A to point B, we need to know the destination. We also need to know how to avoid pitfalls, which actually we check in GPS, right? Nowadays, we check we need to avoid the traffic wherever there is high traffic. So also life is exactly the same. We need to know the pitfalls and have the exact route to our destination. Scriptures give us both the destination and how to get there. Verse 18 to 40 is Karma Yoga. All our activities are classified into two. One is knowing principle, another one is activity principle. Jnana Vivahara and Karma Vivahara. We see an object and learn and know about it. We either develop an interest, like towards it, or dislike towards it. Then we make efforts to get it. Scriptures refer this to Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. The entire life, the entire universe acts on these principles. The knowing principle, developing desire, and acting on it. The more we know, the more desires we have, and the more actions follow. Initially, if you show a balloon and $100 bill to a kid, the child will choose the balloon. The desire thought has not developed yet. That with that $100, I can buy so many balloons. So you show an object, the desire to have it starts, and if you don't give it, the kid starts crying after a few years and does everything possible to get it. Therefore, to gain knowledge, you need experiencer, experience the object, and the connection between those two. Now, verse 19, Krishna says, he's going to speak about Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic experience, and the experiencer. So first one is experience, which is knowledge. There are two types of knowledge. One is Paravidya, one is Aparavidya. The knowledge of Supreme Brahman and everything else. Advaita, non-dual, ekatva, one without a second is sattvic knowledge. Seeing unity among diversity is sattvic knowledge. What is right and what is wrong is one knowledge. What is the truth and what is untruth is also knowledge. By knowing, following righteousness, eliminating unrighteousness in thought, word, and deed, resulting in gaining what is ever-present truth. That is sattvic knowledge. The entire universe is inert, and all activities are of Maya, Prakriti, nature. That Brahman is the substratum of everything, all existence and all activities. One who sees everything, all existence, all appearances as one is sattvic knowledge. It is not the sight but the vision. Clay is in all parts. Ocean water is in all waves. Iron is in all tools. Gold is in all jewelries. This is called Abheda Jnana. Veda is difference. Abheda is without any difference. Equanimous vision. Verse 21 is Veda Jnana, is Rajasic knowledge. I am different from you. God is different from me. That is Dvaita. The second one, all are different, separate from me. This is Rajasic knowledge, Binna Veda Darshanam, seeing duality in one. Verse 22, this body is made up of 5 elements, right? And I associate myself with this inert object and call myself as me. This is me. Not knowing I am beyond this body. I am the witness of the body of this body and its properties. Aham and idam. Whenever you say I and this, whenever I say this, that is not me. Right? Without knowing that knowledge, that I say I, such a thought is tamasic knowledge. Supreme is beyond name and form. We can have sculptures, statues, all are representations. Brahman cannot be confined in one statue or sculpture, pictures, or bodies. Those are representation. We cannot negate that also, just like the flag of a country. Abheda Jnanam Abheda knowledge is Sattvic, which is equanimous. Bheda is Rajasic, which is the differences. Dehatma Bhavam is I am this body is Tamasic. Duty is based on ashram, the stages of life, where you are at any given time. Verse 23, he talks about when performed without expecting a desired result is karma yoga, sattvic karma, that is action, sattvic action. Doing addition, subtraction is for elementary school. Then one need to move beyond that. Similarly, based on our mental structure, each one has different duties in a society, family, and to oneself. Those must be done without expecting personal gain. Such an individual does not consider himself as a doer, but things are getting done through the body, mind, and intellect. That is the symbolism, as we saw earlier, Krishna's flute. There are many activities in front of us. Knowing what needs to be done and do it without likes and dislikes is duty. That is sattvic actions. He's talking about three different gunas of actions. So these are all sattvic actions. Now, verse 24 is bahula ayasam. Those actions that are performed with tremendous effort and intense desire are Rajasic actions. Again, desires are of two types. Studying scriptures, listening to them, drawn to spirituality is one. Those who take one to the higher plane, to sattvic actions. The second one is that leads to the individual to deep into samsara, craving to make more money, accumulate wealth, following unrighteous methods. People from 30 to 50, they try to compromise their eating, their sleeping, their health, everything to make more money and try to spend all that they earned to get back what is lost, the health, which is difficult. This is all excessive overwork Rajasic actions. Verse 25, not knowing the pros and cons of actions, performing, acting without understanding the consequences of actions is Tamasic actions. This could result in the loss of physical health, financial loss, or even loss of life. So here he explains Anubandham, that is not analyzing the consequences of action before doing them. A person's, a company or a manager fires an employee who is very, very valuable. Then they will know only after he leaves. Same thing with somebody resigns or divorce without thinking emotional decision, doing things in a haste. That is that is the meaning of anubandha. Shayam is not thinking about the loss of time, money, or health. Then himsa, causing harm to others, not realizing what can this action, how will this action affect somebody else? Not thinking about that. So this is all tamasic actions. Paurusham, taking on task without thinking whether I am capable, whether I can complete it, committing to something without thinking about it. These are tamasic actions. Karma yogam is sattvic karma, desired prompted actions. With ego is rajasic, performing prohibited actions due to delusion is tamasic. So these are all karmas of three different gunas of karmas. So the summary of 23 to 25. Jnanam is knowledge. The knowledge of one divine supreme non-dual is Sattvic knowledge. The knowledge that allows us, makes us to see others, the world separate from me is Rajasic knowledge. The one who is convinced that the body is body is the Atma and strongly attached to his Tamasic karma. The vision that the divine and I are one is Sattvic knowledge, Jnanam. Brahman is different from me and all beings are different is Rajasic knowledge. Brahman is different, like Krishna, Allah, Jesus, Rama, difference among various religious beliefs with focus only on the name and form is Tamasic. They are all avatars, they are all incarnated, there is only one. Now we go to verse 26. See, I'm the only one. My mother is only one, but my mother's sister will call her sister, right? My mother's mother will call her daughter, honey. Her husband may call, my father may call different. My children will call different, but the person is only one. Same thing with Nirguna Brahman. Brahman is only one, but we call with different names. They are all one. They are all functionality based on their functionality. Words may be different, names and forms may be different, but what is only one. That is Sattvic knowledge. Verse 26 is Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, doer, experiencer. One who is without attachment. That is detached attachment. One who is without ego, without self-pride, without self-admiration, without being arrogant, without thinking and feeling superior. Accepting life as is, performing all actions with full devotion, not in a haphazard way, as an offering, accepting the results as a gift from God, without the sense of doership, is Sattvic doer. 27 is Rajasic doer, one who is focused on the results of actions like likes and dislikes. That is, without performing, without getting any personal benefit. I need to get this benefit more than others or higher than others. That is Rajasic. One who is focused on the self, selfish, and hurts others with words, doesn't think before speaking. Both personal and environmental and thoughts unclean. Gets elated for when happy and when something happiness happy, he gets elated and gets depressed when something difficulty challenge arises. These are all Rajasic doers. Verse 28, one who is in thought, word, and deed, not in alignment, is Tamasic. Without manners, etiquettes in words and actions, arrogant and without respecting others, one who cheats on others, not dependable, one who is willing to destroy others' lives, one who is lazy and always whining, complaining, never satisfied with what one has, without a sense of gratitude. No commitment, no focus, one who is a habitual procrastinator, without a goal, a plan of action, or a deadline to accomplish anything, that is a daydreamer. Work expands with time, says Parkin's law. Being busy is different from being productive. So up till now, Krishna mentioned knowledge, actions, and doer. Knowledge is Advaita, non-dual, Abhedanyanam is Sattvic knowledge. Vedanyanam, duality, is Rajasic knowledge. I am this body is Tamasic knowledge. Now in Karma Yoga, action, Karma Yoga is Sattvic action. Desire-prompted actions are Rajasic. Performing without analyzing the pros and cons of any action is Tamasic. Now, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas of the doer. Now, Krishna is identifying these three qualities of our intellect and willpower, buddhi and dhruti. Verse 26 and 27 and 28 are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, doer. Now 29 is our intellect and willpower. Verse 30 is intellect, the decision-making faculty. What should be done and what should not be done is the ability. That ability is Sattvic. The intellect makes the decision, knowing, able to identify this is Sattvic. What is right and what is wrong. to be able to discern, to distinguish the Sattvic intellect. The ability to know what one should be afraid of and what one should not be afraid of is Sattvic intellect. Some think Brahman punished and are afraid of God, which is totally wrong. In transactional reality, fear is a blessing. It helps us to be cautious. But we should not be afraid of everything, then we cannot function. The ability to differentiate is Sattvic intellect. What is going to bind me? What is my life goal? What I should do and what I should not? What I need to be afraid of, what I should not be afraid of. We need to know the difference. That is Sattvic intellect. Abhaya Murti. Abhaya means I am there to protect you. That we have seen that, we have heard that. So verse 30, 31, and 32 is about Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic intellect. 31, he saying not knowing what is right and what is wrong, what is righteous and what is unrighteous. That is not knowing it is Tamasic. And what needs to be done and what should not be done. Unable to identify these differences, always in doubt, always confused. That is Rajasic intellect, without able to discern, differentiate these differences. Now, Tamasic is here, 32. 31 is Rajasic. 32 is understanding, knowing exactly what is right and wrong, is Sattvic intellect. So sorry, this is not Tamasic. This is just giving the summary again. Understanding, knowing exactly what is right and wrong is Sattvic intellect. Confused, not clear of what is right and wrong is Rajasic intellect. Understanding, being firm in the wrongdoing is Tamasic intellect. We can see that often in teenagers because they always trust their friends and information sources from outside than parents. This is just for a temporary few years. Once they grow, they understand the difference. So that is Tamasic understanding. So this is definitely a rope is Sattvic intellect. Not sure whether it is a rope or a snake is Rajasic. This is definitely snake. I know it. That is Tamasic intellect. Arjuna was confused whether fighting was righteous or unrighteous as a warrior. His duty was to fight, but he was confused. Initially, he was in Tamasic. He started arguing that it is not right to fight. Self-doubt, that was Rajasic intellect later. Then finally in verse 2.7, he surrendered to Krishna. The intellect that decides what is right as wrong and what is wrong as right is Tamasic. It is in ignorance, does not understand clearly. We all experience this once in a while. So we need to self-assess and eliminate Rajasic and Tamasic intellect. That is why in early stages, we need to give freedom to our children to make mistakes. That is how they learn. Our focus needs to be on their safety. Allow them to make mistakes, errors, and fail. When they forget something to take to school, they will always remember. Next time they will not forget. We have to let people or below subordinates or colleagues or others, anybody for that matter, children, let them make errors. Errors, when repeated, it becomes a mistake. That is carelessness, right? So now verse 33, Dhruti, willpower, conviction, determination. One who is pursuing spiritual austerities, listening, reading, contemplating, meditating, consistently working on it, is Sattvic Dhruti. Not like New Year resolutions. That determination, unwavering willpower, strength to carry out one's wishes in the spiritual path on a regular, consistent matter is Sattvic Dhruti. Like we are attending this class regularly now, we have been attending for so many chapters. So when we do not have this firm willpower to start, based on emotional resistance we make, and will be unable to continue till the end, consistency will not be there. Now verse 34, conviction that is firmly held to commit actions for pleasures, name, fame, power, position, promotion, all these things are Rajasic. Rajasic Dhriti, willpower. These individuals who perform prayer, charity, spiritual austerities on a grand scale by spreading with big flyers and publicity in a crowd for name, fame, and that is Rajasic Dhriti. 35 is daydreamer. Without action, fear, sadness, confused, and pride are always Tamasic Dhriti. Dhritarashtra, the king of Hastinapura, was legally blind and was also blind to his son's atrocities. Because he did not have clear knowledge of what is right and what is wrong, he was so much attached to his sons that he was confused. He did not listen to his gurus when they tried to guide him. That was because of the pride as a king. Such individuals are always sad and in fear and throughout their entire life. They hold on very strongly to the wrong conviction and is always confused, afraid, and go through physical and mental ailments. So 36, 37, 38 are Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, happiness. Now 36, everyone's perception is different. What one likes, others may not like it. Now, we enjoy spiritual classes here now, but some when you bring some of your friends, they may not like it. Some enjoy alcohol, cigarettes, others do not like it. Once we are connected with an object and continue to experience the pleasure for a long period of time, it becomes a habit. The longer abhyasa, practice, effort we put in, the greater the happiness. So constant, consistent, regular practice is the option to minimize the pain and increase the happiness. Verse 37, that which is poison initially and finally evolves into a nectar is sattvic happiness. Everything is difficult before they are easy. You know, there are quotes, quitters never win and winners never quit. So when we consistently meditate or practice self-knowledge on a daily basis, that happiness leads to the inner peace with tremendous mental strength, and that is sattvika sukham, sattvika happiness. Verse 38, that which seems like a nectar at the start and later turns into poison is rajasic happiness. We have seen this in others' lives and in our own lives. These give pleasures to our senses and later affect us. Like we enjoy eating junk food and later on we face the consequences. Often we don't have like healthy food, but later on health is compromised. These are rajasic happiness. Verse 39, that which confuses, dilutes, intoxicates. Here, spiritual ignorance, therefore laziness, sleepiness, carelessness, unclean in thought, word, and deed are tamasic pleasures, happiness. Some are always in bed without a goal, without a plan of action, without a drive or an urge to perform, accomplish anything, lethargic. These are tamasic happiness or pleasures. Verse number 40, from the grass to the Brahma, the creator. One of the creator is one of the three. The Brahma is with the creator, generator. Everything is bound by these three gunas. There's nothing in this universe without three gunas. As long as we are bound by these three gunas, beings are in the cycle of birth and death based on our actions. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Trinity. It's all titles, just like CEO, CFO, COO. We all have three gunas. They are referred to as Saguna Brahman, with gunas. The Nirguna Brahman is Nirguna Brahman, without any gunas. Brahman has no rebirth, unlike beings, that Nirguna Brahma. According to scriptures, there are four yugas. Time. Vedic texts referred to as Vedic time. Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Double of that is Dwapara Yuga, triple is Treta Yuga, four times is Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga. Now these four yugas, one complete cycle of four yugas is one Mahayuga. And 1,000 Mahayuga is one day for the creator. That is referred to as one kalpa. Another 1,000 Mahayuga is another kalpa, that is one night of Brahma. At the end of one kalpa, there is a dissolution. At the end of 2 kalpas, there is a dissolution. That is cosmic dissolution. We'll see that in the slide right now. With that, verse 40 is completed. I will pause here and then I will share my screen. I'm sharing the screen right now. You can see the screen. Let me know if you can see the screen clearly. Yes, thank you. So the Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma, Kamya Karma, Nishiddha Karma. Nitya Karma is that you need to do on a regular basis. Naimittika Karma and situational activities, actions. Kamya Karma is desired-prompted actions. Nishiddha Karma is prohibited actions. The Supreme Divine Personality says, giving up all actions motivated by desire is what the learned understand says. That is this one. Relinquishing the fruits of all action is what the wise declare as renunciation. Now, entire human life should be a yajna. Yajna is personal prayer. Offering to fire Agni, are made of 3 different deities for various rituals. These are karma kanda. These are from the earlier portions of Vedas. Homam is 1-day performance. Temples, ceremonies, weddings, prayers, all those things are homam. Yajna is 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. These are for personal needs, for child, for wealth, for health, studying, chanting, meditation, worship, all these things are yajna. Yagam is something for the benefit of the entire humanity. It is not a duty but must be performed when the need arises, like to get rain or relief from flood and famine for the betterment of society. That is yagam. Yagam, Yagyam, and Homa. Now the cause and effect. We know when the street is wet, we know it is rained. But when it rains, it is good for the farmers, but not good for the building contractors, right? Now there's a lamp, the flame is there. It is good, we get the light, we can read it. But at the same time, the fireflies die. So this is, again, for the seed dies to get the plant. It has to destroy to become to sprout. So this is all plurality, cause and effect and plurality. This is constructive destruction, this particular one. So this is all part of life. Plurality exists and we experience on a daily basis. This one is yajna dana tapas. This is tapas is our individual or personal discipline, personal spiritual practices. Yajnam, we saw that. Vedic ritual, studying, reading scriptures, listening, doing performance. And yagam is for the global benefit. Now, this is just five yajnas, Panchamaha yajna we talked about in chapter 4. That is one for, we talked about the rangoli with rice flowers, feeding the crows, feeding the dog, feeding the birds. All these things are, bhuta yajna. Nara yajna is supporting humans, Pitru yajna is thinking of the deceased, Rishi yajna is reading scriptures, Deva yajna is prayers. And this is just, I took my pictures because I feed the birds on a daily basis in my backyard. Sattvic renunciation, performing what needs to be done without expecting anything in result. This is just a book that I was reading, I was referring to. You can look into it. So you can probably check out in the library. So renunciating everything that I don't need this is all glamour. That realization is sattvic renunciation. One is always confused and doesn't know what to do, whether to do or not. That is Rajasic, that is how Arjuna was. Then Tamasic is not performing what needs to be done, escaping from the duties. Okay? Now verse 9 to 11 is sattvic sacrifice. Doing one's duty without expecting anything as an offering and accepting whatever comes is sattvic sacrifice. Rajasic and Tamasic actions are completely eliminated. For the embodied being, that is all beings, it is impossible to give up activities entirely. But those who relinquish the fruits of actions are said to be truly renounced. I am not the doer, not attaching to this body, mind, and intellect. Here it says attachment to the impermanent results of actions becomes an obstacle in our progress, not only in this world, but also in our spiritual unfoldment. This is verse 9 to 11, 12. Unless we are detached from this body upon gaining and realizing that I am not this body, all actions must be performed. Those who perform sacrifices get three possible consequences. They may go to hell. Of course, nobody has come and told us what hell is. So let's just trust, have the Shraddha in the scriptures, or the body of an animal, plants. We see so many other beings outside, a virus, bacteria, amoeba, so many things. So that seems to be understandable, which is non-favorable. And human body, sometimes we like, sometimes we don't like, which is called misram. And then the others go to they are born as deities or rishis, sages. They are favorable. Those who do not have any attachment, they attach mukti, they attach moksha, the liberation, they do not have rebirth. So let go of all these negative emotions. The heaviest burden that we carry are the thoughts in our mind, the past, the future, all the guilt feelings, and the future what ifs. The five factors that have been mentioned for the accomplishment of all actions in the doctrine of Sankhya, which explains how to stop the reactions of karmas. So the Sthula Shariram, the body, the breath, mind, intellect, and Ishvara. All these three causes everything. These are, we want to make sure that Anatma is Karta Bhokta, Atma is Akarta and Abhokta. Knowledge. In transactional reality, we have knowledge principles and we have activity principle. Each one has got experiencer, experienced and experience. Then he talks about Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic of all three. Same thing, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic of all three of activity principles. Scriptures refer to this as Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. So knowledge is Paravidya and Aparavidya. Paravidya is all about one alone is Supreme Brahman. Aparavidya is everything else, including Upanishads, which are pointers. Sattvic Jnana, that is knowledge. Sattvic knowledge is the ability to differentiate the truth from appearance, right from wrong. Abheda Bhavana, which is equanimous vision. Rajasic Jnanam is Veda Jnanam, which sees the difference. Tamasic Jnanam is I am this body, that is the ego. If you look at it here, it's only vegetables. We can say it vegetables or you can individually call names. So also we all have different names and forms, but what is only Atman in each body, right? So one Atman. Same thing we see in multiple waves, but what is only water. Now, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic actions performing without expecting any desired results is Sattvic. Desired prompted actions is Rajasic. Performing without analyzing the consequences of actions, pros and cons, that is Tamasic. You can see that act without expectation. This is with expectation. This is I'm confused. What should I do? Why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. Now there's just a reference here. Hanuman was his devotee. He says, when I realize I am Atma, Ram and I are one. When I see myself as a jiva, I am part of Rama. When I see myself as this body, I am the servant of Rama at his service. It's just a reference. Now verse 26 to 28, the experiencer, the Sattvic, Tamasic and Rajasic experience. One who performs Karma Yoga later renouncing the doership is Sattvic Karta. Rajasic Karta is one who is focused on the results of actions with ego. I want to accomplish this, I want to achieve this, I am great, I have the ability, all those thoughts. That when someone performs all those thoughts is Rajasic Karta, performer. Tamasic Karta is performing with a strong attachment to this body. Again, egoistic. Buddhi, this is intellect. Sattvic, what should be done, what should not be done. Sattva is calm and balanced quality of the mind. He is able to make a decision, strong decision. He analyzes pros and cons and decides this finally. So that is Sattvic. Rajasic is unable to see the difference between what is right and what is wrong. Tamasic is being firm in what is wrong. Then willpower, conviction, Sattvic conviction, Rajasic conviction, Tamasic conviction. One who is constantly, consistently pursuing spiritual austerities is Sattvic convicted. So Swadhyaya, that is self-knowledge, working on self-knowledge. Rajasic is performing spiritual practices for publicity, name and fame. Tamasic is daydreamer without actions, fear, sadness, confused and is with pride. Sattvic happiness is the greater the practice one puts in, the greater the happiness. Rajasic is that which is difficult in the beginning but gives nectar at the end. Tamasic is that which gives pleasure in the beginning, later evolves into sadness. Now, these are the 4 yugas according to cosmology and Vedic times. Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. This is double, this is triple, and this is 4 times. Also called as Iron Age, Bronze Age, Silver Age, and Golden Age. So these are the 14 lokas. This is where the Earth is Bhuloka. We have 6 above and 7 below. No one has gone and come back and told us. This is what the scriptures say. So the unconditional trust with reverence in scriptures is necessary. Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Maharaloka, Swargaloka, Bhuvaloka, Bhuloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Mahatala, Talatala, Rasatala, Patala, 14 realms. Now this is daily dissolution. We sleep at night and everything is resolved. When we wake up in the morning, the I starts. That is the ego, I. The reflection of the illuminating consciousness shines in the mind. That is I. Then throughout the day, we sustain with that I. I did this, I went there, I got this, I had a nap, I watched TV, I read this book. All those I sustain throughout the day, and at night that I dissolves. That is daily dissolution, Nitya Pralayam. Now, 1000 Chaturu Yuga is 1 day, 1 kalpa. That is when everything also dissolves. That is called Naimittika Pralaya. Then second kalpa, at the end of second kalpa, is called cosmic dissolution. That is called Prakritik Pralaya. Then once we realize I am that, there is no rebirth. That is Atyantika Pralaya. That is a supreme, highest. After that, you don't see any Pralaya. At that point, during each Pralaya, everything is dissolved, frozen, absorbed into the cosmic night. Okay? This is indicated in Vishnu Purana. Kurukshetra war. This is not here. Okay. So we go back. That's the last one. This is the last one for verse 40. With that I complete. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat.